My name is Matthias. I use she, they pronouns, by the way. Um, I'm here to read the speech I made. That's all I have to say before I'm going to read it. A bit over 2 years ago, a United States Air Force serviceman stepped onto the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. In his left hand was a thermos. In his right, he held his phone, live streaming on Twitch. As he sets the camera onto the ground, he pulls out his uniform cap and with this cold, everyday attitude, dumps the content of the thermos onto his face and sets himself on fire. His last words, as we watch his body erupt into flames and his skin peel like plastic, were "Free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine," 5 times before the most horrific screams of pain. His name was Aaron Bushnell, and his act of protest had a big effect on me when I saw the video. I feel scared. Yeah. I open my phone and all I see is death. I scroll and I see a Palestinian child begging for their life by begging for likes. Scroll, ICE executed a trans woman. Oh, it's a cute dog video and it's fucking AI. It doesn't help, but I also don't know what to do. I notice myself sitting at home and my nerves are reacting like there's a tiger in front of me. It can feel like the walls are closing in because we have the AfD in Germany espousing literal 1930s Nazi rhetoric with the second highest seats in parliament. We have white nationalists in the Danish parliament parroting similar talking points, and anti-immigrant protests in England organized by far-right organizations. BF's new promotional video is fucking terrifying because they film it like a Marvel movie trying to get Danes to galvanize against Muslims in a war. A lot of folks when talking about things like this want to point towards Western ideals of freedom and sovereignty, that current affairs are uniquely fucked. Things like the UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But the year before the UN codified that, they resolved to segregate Palestine and establish the apartheid state of Israel. The really shitty thing is that these are not necessarily unprecedented times. We have just been taught that we deserve the comforts of empire. ICE has existed for decades, but outrage happens when white citizens get killed. Obama committed war crimes and he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Denmark participated in the slave trade for 200 plus years, committed genocide on women and girls in Greenland, and are currently shipping weapons to the United States for their genocide in Gaza. This is not new, and they have not atoned for their sins. I've personally been a really desensitized person. I think we all are, especially us who grew up with like the internet in our hands. I didn't know how to cope with the fear and the grief that I felt. So I postured like I was above it, and it didn't affect me. A bit later, I remember telling my friend that I avoided looking at the death in order to continue to function. Otherwise, I would become a terrorist or a freedom fighter, depending on who you ask. It's almost as if I understood the horrors without knowing them. But I discovered something about myself a few years ago. All of that overwhelming rage and sorrow and grief that was stuffed into me, screaming without a voice, it pointed towards love. It came from love. I was taught my entire life to feel like I was dysfunctional for questioning authority or acting out. This world medicalizes and pathologizes the truth. It tells us that our instinct for liberty is wrong, that it's a sickness. I mean, a symptom of autism is literally a strong sense of justice. Choosing to follow that feeling that says something is wrong has been one of the most rewarding journeys I have ever been on. It has pointed towards the truth, even when the world overwrites our relationship to the truth-telling tradition with its capital R reason. Rationality and logic that doesn't exist for truth or liberation, but to uphold the status quo. It has taught me how expansive I am, how expansive we can be, and how stifled we are as a people. Everything in this world has been made intentionally, and we have been taught not to see the seams. We've been conditioned not to see the seams. Who benefits when a strong sense of justice is labeled disordered? Why is the violence of some terrorism while others are necessary or even just? Why does the world have to be like this? I personally really hate the defeatist attitude of that's just how the way the world works. Because we are all participating in world making all the time. In a world that isolates us, community is radical. It can look like asking for help moving boxes, volunteering, or hosting a potluck. In a world that's harsh and overwhelming, care and rest can be radical. We get to choose how we treat each other, and what our cultures look like, and how we show up for each other. Noticing the stitches help us uproot harmful systems. Why do some have everything and others have none? Why does school reward obedience? Why do products last a maximum of 5 years? I want to end this speech by reading Aaron Bushnell's remarks, his last remarks before he soared on those embassy steps. He said, "I am an active duty member of the United States Air Force, and I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I am about to engage in an extreme act of protest, but compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, it's not extreme at all. This is what the ruling class has decided will be normal." Thank you.